It's as though we were just here. This is crazy. That was a lot to take in. Hopefully you've got a better sense of how this is all working. We have got a couple pieces left, and then we're going to just finish up by chatting about how we're going to get these. There's our one piece. I'm going to move that off to the side. We know that's going to be amazing. And in fact, I'm just going to steal this piece of wood. No, I'm not going to steal it. You're not going to be a jerk. Don't steal it. You're going to get a new piece from the back. Here we are. And I'm going to bring it back here. These pieces are just 3/4 inches thick. This is very normal stuff now. Okay, you can see it lives in there. I'm going to put it in there, give it some room to breathe, and you know what? I'm going to bring it up to the top. You can see again here that your stringer will safely come out of that piece of wood. What we're going to do, let's do 2 of them. Boy, this is tricky, eh? Let's put that there. That's going to go there, and I don't want that like that. Here are my 2 stretchers. You have a drawing. You can physically measure what the length is from that point right there to this point right here. The piece of wood needs to be bigger than that. Again, because we have a planer that has a minimum length of 14 inches, I am of the opinion that this piece is going to end up at about 14 inches in length to be able to cut it to get these out. It's going to be a bit long, but that's okay. This is it. These 2, well, let's move this one out because we're going to have to rip that down to whatever the width is, which you're going to have to fill out your bill of materials. I'm going to put an 8 there because that's the width of our blade. You can see that that fits nicely in the width of our pieces. We still have these 2 guys. These are the horizontal supports, and it will not fit. Either of those will not fit in here. And I do not feel that we should cut a whole new piece of wood just to get these. These 2 horizontal supports you are going to get from the back somewhere. They are not overly long. They are only 10 and let's call it a foot. So any scrap you can find that is 3/4 by 3/4, you're going to rip up. Oh, sorry, that's 3/4 inches thick, or you can make it 3/4 inches thick. We're going to rip up into 3/4 inch strips. That's just a 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch thing. We're just going to make them. You can cut them. That's going to come from scrap in the shop. These 2 stringers are going to come from a whole new piece. This one's way easier. Okay, I'm going to put that in that piece, and you can see that once we join it, well, I'll put them down even. Once we join it and plane it, I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to plane it down to 3/4, and then we're going to draw this on, and it's going to be amazing. There's a certain length that this should be. Don't make it too short. Once you cut it too short, we do not have a wood stretcher. You can't make it any bigger. So leave some room. Whatever you measure this, leave an inch or 2, and that's going to be good for that. The whole thing here that we've got going, this is it. Here's your whole cutting list. Your cutting list will show that you have 2 pieces of 1x6 that you're going to start with. One of them is going to be whatever length this is. Again, hint, it's probably near the minimum length that we can have to plane. This guy, I don't even know what that is, but I think it's going to be this length and that length. These are the vertical supports plus whatever the width of that brace is, plus a little bit. That is going to get us all the stuff. Once you have figured out where these pieces all go here, it's going to be so easy. The next thing you should do, I want you to fill out your bill of materials. You're going to get that sheet, and you're going to label part 1 as a tread. You're going to label the length of it, whatever it is. You have a drawing, you can scale it, you already have it written down. I wonder what it is. Gosh, it's really tricky. I don't know. But whatever the length is and whatever the width is of your tread, you're going to have 4 of those, and there's going to be a thickness to it. You also have that, and again, I don't want to give everything away. I don't know what it is. It might be something like that number right there, though. That's what we're shooting for. Then you're going to have to list out part number 2. Those are your treads. There are, don't forget, 1, 2, 3, and actually, look at this. There they are. They're inside. It's crazy. There are 4 of them living inside of there. So you got to tell me how long they are, how wide they are, and again, how thick they are. The same with these 2 vertical braces. Let's call this the cross support. How about that? Good name, strong name. We're going to have 2 stringers. I want you to tell me how big they are. The length overall you can measure directly from your drawing. It's measured from there to there, whatever that is. I don't know. And then the overall width you can measure as well. We know that this is 11 inches wide in full scale. So the full width is probably going to be a 1/4 inch scale of that because that's the scale of our model. Those are all the things you need to do. Fill out your bill of materials. and then we can start cutting stuff up. Before you cut stuff, of course, I want a cutting list, and I want it to be, I'm going to write it down in this drawing. I would like a cutting list that is fatwa. That's it. 10, well, that's going to be huge. Let's do this. Okay? My cutting list is going to be fatwa. That's it. Nope, it's not. Apparently, it's not going to be. I was doing this for effect. I promise. There's fatwa. Okay? Your checklist is only going to have that in it because, as you can see, we're going to joint to face, joint to edge. We're going to plane these two things down to thickness before we do the width. Speaking of thickness, this piece right here, you can see that, I mean, I didn't tell you at all, nor did I show you the thickness of this piece. But if you happen to figure out what the thickness of that is, and you multiply it by 1, 2, you will find out that that is probably near 3/4. You may not plane this piece down to 3/4 straight away. We're going to plane it down to max thick. That is a thing I'm going to talk about in class, and hopefully we've talked about it already. If not, yell at me and say, hey, Mr. Saunders, you need to tell me what max thick is. This piece here has to be planed down to max thick. Then we have to do some ripping, which puts us in the W category. And these guys over here, these are going to be finished thickness. Those you can definitely take down to finished thickness after the fact. Okay, but you can see there's a gap here. I've left that for a reason because we have to cut it. So again, do not plane this piece down to max thick right away, and that's going to be all spelled out in your checklist. This one's max thick, this whole piece. This guy over here with the stringers is just going to be 3/4 inch. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. Have fun.